Welcome to Duo Reads, where we decode deep ideas and break down big books one page at a time. Today, we're exploring some truly profound excerpts from Think Like a Monk by Jay Shetty. What's so compelling about this source material, you might ask? Well, it's the author himself. Here's a man who attended IIT Bombay, often called the MIT of India, a place nearly impossible to get into. But then, he deliberately walked away from that incredible opportunity to become a monk. It's the inverse of the rags to riches story we usually hear, and it really makes you wonder, how can these ancient monastic practices truly equip us to navigate modern pressures, even inspiring someone to make such a radical choice and thrive?
It's an extraordinary pivot, isn't it? Really makes you pause. And that choice, as he describes, came from deeply personal place. He felt an unfamiliar thrill hearing a monk speak about selfless sacrifice and the powerful idea of planting trees under whose shade we don't plan to sit.
Yeah.
So this journey into the monastic mindset isn't really about giving up everything to live in ashram. Not for most people, anyway. It's about extracting unique insights for finding peace, calm, and purpose in our own lives, wherever we are. The core idea is simple. Monks are, in a way, the original experts at training the mind for peace, calm, and purpose. They've developed practices to withstand temptations, refrain from criticism, deal with pain and anxiety in ways most of us only dream of, honestly.
Okay, let's unpack this then. The book outlines 3 core stages for adapting what he calls the monk mindset: let go, grow, and give. Our exploration today will follow this progression, extracting practical wisdom you can apply to your everyday life. So we begin with letting go, and specifically letting go of identity. It seems to me that so much of our self-image is tied to how others see us. Sociologist Charles Horton Cooley articulated this perfectly, saying, "I am what I think you think I am." Think about Maria in A West Side Story feeling pretty only after a boy expresses interest in her. Our efforts at self-improvement a lot of the time are really just attempts to meet those imagined external expectations. It's a very outward-focused existence.
That's precisely where the monk's wisdom offers a different path. It's internal. The author uses this really powerful dust on the mirror metaphor.
Right, the dust on the mirror, I remember that.
Yeah, the idea is our true identity, he suggests, is like a mirror, but it's covered in layers of dust.
It's from
External influences, internal obstacles, fears, all that stuff. And what's truly profound here is that the monastic method isn't about adding anything to yourself, new skills, new possessions,
right,
but removing those layers.
Okay, so it's subtraction, not addition.
Exactly. It's a journey not of self-discovery, but of self-uncovering, allowing you to see your true reflection. This is why monastic traditions emphasize removing distractions, even speaking or possessions, to focus on clearing that internal mirror. A concept beautifully captured in the Sanskrit phrase, Sito Darpatam Orjanam.
Seto Darpen Arjanam, cleansing the mirror of the mind.
That's the one, essentially cleansing the mirror of the mind.
That makes so much sense, that idea of uncovering rather than adding. Building on that, how deeply do these external forces also shape our values? The book points out that our values are often unconsciously absorbed, from parents, caregivers, media.
Yeah, just soaked up.
Rather than being consciously chosen. There's a powerful try this exercise in the text where you write down your values and their origins. It really makes you think about what you truly value versus what you've just kind of picked up along the way.
And if we want to see what we actually value, look at your time and your money. They don't lie.
Ooh, okay. The receipts.
Exactly. They are the clearest indicators. The author gives a compelling example. The irony of spending more on shoes than on your kids' music lessons, maybe.
Right.
Or valuing a daily coffee habit, which adds up to nearly $1,500 a year over fresh, healthy food that might cost an extra $1.50 a day, totaling only about $550 a year.
Wow, that's a stark difference.
It is. These seemingly small choices highlight a deep misalignment between what we say we value and how we actually live. The monastic approach here is about consciously examining these choices to bring them into alignment, creating an integrity between your stated values and your daily actions.
Shifting gears slightly, another big thing to let go of is negativity. It's incredibly contagious, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely. Like a mental virus, as you said.
The book reminds us of the Solomon Asch conformity experiment from the 1950s.
The lie judgment test.
Yeah, where 75% of subjects gave an incorrect answer just to conform with a group, even when the correct answer was obvious. We're wired for social conformity, for better or worse, and that can pull us into negative spirals.
So how do we deal with that strong pull towards negativity? Well, the monk's advice is incredibly insightful. Don't judge someone with a different disease.
Explain that a bit.
It means seeing negative behavior as a trait, maybe a temporary state, not someone's entire identity. We shouldn't judge others by their worst moments. It encourages compassion, really.
Okay, I like that.
And for ourselves, the author suggests a simple yet powerful method for dealing with negativity. Spot, stop, swap.
Spot, stop, swap.
Yeah. Spot the negative thought. Is it complaining, comparing, or criticizing? Then consciously stop it. Like put up a mental stop sign. And finally, swap it for something productive, maybe by reframing it or taking a positive action instead. It's about interrupting the pattern before it takes hold.
Next on the let go list, fear. Buddha famously said, "Fear does not prevent death, it prevents life."
Powerful.
Think of the warrior Arjuna on the battlefield in the Mahabharata, dropping his bow out of sheer terror, completely disconnected from his abilities. Fear often does that to us. But isn't there a fine line between letting go of fear and becoming detached from, well, healthy self-preservation? How do monks distinguish useful vigilance from harmful fear?
That's a crucial distinction, you're right. We often fear the wrong things, focusing on outcomes we can't control. The real problem isn't fear itself, but missing the opportunities that challenges offer, like the potential for growth. The Biosphere 2 example illustrates this beautifully. Trees inside didn't grow strong roots because they lacked wind, no resistance.
They needed the stress.
Exactly. Stress and challenges, like the wind, actually make us stronger.
Yeah.
It's about working through the fear, like Alex Honnold, the free solo client, does it. He doesn't suppress his fear. He works through the fear until it's just not scary anymore, by meticulously practicing and preparing.
So preparation meets the fear.
Precisely. And the root of most hurtful fears, the book says, is attachment, our deep need to own and control things. We cling to ideas, possessions, relationships, and when we fear losing them, we suffer.
So the cure, if attachment is the cause, is detachment. How does that translate into something practical for daily life? It sounds cold, maybe?
It doesn't have to be cold. It's crucial to distinguish between useful fear and hurtful fear. A useful fear is one that alerts us to a situation we can change. Like fearing poor health due to diet, you can change your diet. That's useful information.
Okay.
But fearing your parents will die is hurtful because you can't change that ultimate truth.
Right. That's inevitable.
So the wisdom here is to transform hurtful fears into useful ones by focusing on what you can control. For example, using the fear of losing your parents to motivate yourself to spend more quality time with them now.
I see. Channeling the fear into action.
Exactly. This also extends to emotions, shifting from I am angry to I feel angry. It creates distance and perspective.
That's that slight language shift.
It's powerful. It's liberating because when you understand that everything, even our families and homes, is kind of borrowed, you shift from a fearful grip to a grateful appreciation. It transforms your relationship with everything around you.
Okay, that's a lot to let go of. Now we move to grow, beginning with purpose and dharma. There's a wonderful story about a monk who repeatedly saves a scorpion from drowning, even though it stings him every time.
I remember this one.
When asked why, the monk replies, "Because to save it is my nature." This illustrates one's dharma, your essential nature and purpose. So how does someone even begin to uncover their own nature or purpose? That feels like a huge question.
It is a huge question. And that's the million-dollar question for many. The author provides his own journey as an example. While researching for a talk in the ashram, he became fascinated by communication psychology. Just got hooked. He realized his dharma was studying, experimenting with knowledge, and speaking, which led him to create his Think Out Loud Club and eventually speak to, like, 1,000 people at Twickenham Stadium.
Wow, from monk to stadium speaker.
Right. The key insight here is that society often focuses on strengthening our weaknesses, fix what's wrong. But the monastic approach is often to lean into our strengths. What are you naturally good at? What energizes you?
Lean into strengths.
Okay. This involves deep self-awareness to identify what truly energizes you, what you're naturally good at, and what you love doing. Where do those overlap?
To help you identify where you thrive, the book introduces the quadrants of potential. Good at love, not good at love, not good at don't love, and good at don't love. A simple grid.
Yeah, very practical.
And for self-awareness, it discusses the concept of varnas, creators, guides, leaders, makers. It emphasizes these aren't rigid castes, but rather archetypal personality types. Creators as innovators, guides as teachers, leaders as organizers, and makers as those who, well, make things happen.
Right. It's a tool for self-understanding, not boxing yourself in. Understanding your dominant varna helps you lean into your natural strengths and work harmoniously with others who might have different strengths.
Makes sense.
And when we talk about growing, our daily routines are absolutely paramount. Alarming statistics show that 85% of us use an alarm clock, which is maybe not surprising,
No.
but nearly a quarter reach for our phones within 1 minute of waking. Right. We immediately overwhelm the mind. So the author proposes the TIME morning routine: thankfulness, insight, meditation, exercise.
TIME.
Thankfulness, insight, meditation, exercise. Got it.
What's often overlooked, though, is that a good evening routine is just as crucial for a productive morning. Like Kevin O'Leary writing down 3 things he wants to do the next day before he sleeps. It sets the stage, prepares the mind.
That's smart, setting the intention the night before. I love that idea of finding new and the old within routines, too. The UCLA fire extinguisher study is a perfect example.
Why?
Only 24% of staff knew where their nearest fire extinguisher was, even if it was just feet away. They walked past it every day.
Wow. Blindness through familiarity.
Exactly. And the monk's practice of finding a new stone on a familiar walk emphasizes attention over retention. It's about actively looking.
Yeah, rewiring your brain to pay attention and recognize that there's something new to learn or notice in everything, even the most familiar things.
That sounds like mindfulness. It absolutely is. This practice cultivates deep presence. The analogy, chew your drinks and drink your food, perfectly captures mindfulness in everyday activities.
Chew your drinks.
Yeah, it means slow down, savor each sip, each bite, be fully present. Don't just gulp it down while thinking about 10 other things. This ties directly into the dangers of multitasking. A Stanford study found that media multitaskers, people juggling emails, texts, web browsing, performed poorly on attention and memory tasks.
Not surprising, I guess.
No, but what happens is your brain gets hit with a dopamine hangover, that scattered, exhausted feeling from constantly switching tasks. It actually decreases productivity and brain health.
Dopamine hangover. Never heard that term, but I know the feeling.
Right. So single tasking is vital for focus and clear thinking. Do one thing at a time.
This brings us directly to the mind. The book describes the charioteer's dilemma, where our senses are like wild horses pulling the mind, the charioteer off course. Imagine your morning commute, the news, social media alerts, traffic, the constant stream pulling your attention every which way. Totally.
The charioteer's dilemma is about reclaiming control of your focus from those wild horses of distraction. Humans have roughly 70,000 thoughts a day, apparently.
70,000.
Yeah. Often jumping aimlessly like monkeys swinging from branch to branch. That's the quote.
That's a great image. And the core insight here is that the choice of which thoughts to feed is often so subtle, woven into our daily habits. The 2 wolves analogy, one good, one bad, illustrates this. Which wolf wins? The one you feed. It's simple, but profound.
Yeah.
The Bhagavad Gita also teaches, for him who has conquered the mind is the best of friends. But for one who has failed to do so, his very mind will be the greatest enemy.
So your own mind can be your biggest obstacle.
Absolutely. Our minds can actively work against us. A Princeton and Waterloo study even showed people felt physically heavier when recalling unethical actions.
Oh, really? Yeah, suggesting the weight of a bad decision isn't just metaphorical. Monks provide a framework to make that subtle choice of what to feed your mind more conscious, turning even small actions into powerful feeds for the good wolf.
So what does this all mean for us, practically? It means reframing those self-defeating thoughts. Instead of, I'm not good enough, you can tell yourself, okay, I'm learning how to work in a global team, or I'm investing the time I need to get better at this. Shifting the narrative.
Exactly. Positive redirection.
Simple daily practices like learning one new thing no matter how small, or repeating mantras like, make my mind my friend, can help quiet that inner critic, that negative chatter.
And this is where meditation becomes so powerful. He describes it not as silencing the mind, which is, let's face it, almost impossible.
Right. Feels impossible.
But as amplifying what was already inside me, finding the calm beneath the noise. He also says it's work, and it was never done. Like meticulously cleaning a temple that immediately starts collecting dust again. You have to keep at it.
That's realistic. It's ongoing practice.
The text also discusses austerities, like Jay's month-long silent retreat, or fasting as detachment boot camps.
Boot camps.
Yeah, ways to strengthen the intellect and allow us to overcome perceived limitations. These aren't about self-punishment or suffering for its own sake, but about showing ourselves we're capable of more than we imagine, building mental and emotional resilience for life's inevitable challenges.
Okay, we've let go, we've grown. Finally, we arrive at give, starting with gratitude. Pema Chodron wisely said, appreciate everything, even the ordinary, especially the ordinary. How does that simple act of appreciation fundamentally change us?
Well, Dr. Murali Doraiswamy calls gratitude the world's most powerful drug
Wow, strong words.
because it releases dopamine, creating a virtuous cycle. Once you start intentionally seeing things to be grateful for, your brain actively looks for more things. It changes your filter.
You start noticing more good stuff.
Exactly. The monk's undeserved experiences exercise is powerful here. It shifts focus from misfortunes or what we earn to wonderful things that came to us by good fortune or kindness, rather than through our own efforts, things you didn't necessarily deserve, but received anyway.
That's a nice reframe.
It is. Think of Brian Acton's rejections from Facebook and Twitter before WhatsApp made him a billionaire. He didn't judge the moment, those rejections. He trusted, there's more for me out there. That's the power of focusing on the unexpected gifts, even when things seem bad.
Moving to relationships, the redwood tree analogy is perfect. Their shallow roots interweave, making them incredibly strong together.
Yeah, supporting each other.
It beautifully symbolizes community resilience and the power of interconnectedness. But in our modern world, we often place so many expectations on individual relationships, right? Like one person has to be everything.
That's a key point, definitely. We often expect one person, a partner, usually, to be a complete package, providing all 4 C's of trust, competence, character, care, consistency.
See, competence, character, care, consistency. Okay.
But that's simply unrealistic. No one person can provide all of that all the time. It puts immense pressure on relationships. The wisdom here is to understand that healthy relationships are built on shared values and reciprocal giving, not just taking or expecting one person to fill all needs.
And how do you keep love alive, according to this?
Well, it isn't just about reliving old memories, though that's nice. It's about consciously creating new ones. It's about finding new in the old, like transforming a routine dinner into a candlelit one at home, reading to each other, or, importantly, serving together, shared purpose.
Which brings us to the ultimate act of giving service. The core philosophy of a monk is to plant trees under whose shade you do not plan to sit. This is seva, the Sanskrit word for selfless service.
And the monk's village experiment perfectly illustrates this evolution of service.
Oh, so?
They were dropped in a village with no money or food. Initially, the monks felt fear and resorted to selfishness, just trying to survive. By the second week, they started helping locals in exchange for provisions, experiencing mutual compassion and connection.
Okay, a step up.
But by the final week, they had a realization. Their true wealth wasn't stuff. It was their inherent strength, their knowledge, their presence, which they could give to those in greater need within the village.
They found something to offer even when they thought they had nothing.
Exactly. The revelation was everyone, even those of us who have already dedicated our lives to service, can always give more. There's always capacity. We see this in figures like Sean Korn, who shifted her yoga practice to serving at-risk communities, and Kailash Satyarthi, whose work against child labor embodies the globalization of compassion.
Yeah.
It's a reminder that even when we feel we have little, we always have something to offer: time, attention, kindness, skills.
The powerful takeaway here is you don't have to change your occupation. You don't have to change your schedule. You can serve from any situation.
Yeah.
It's about the spirit in which you do the same work, bringing service into whatever you already do.
Absolutely. And to conclude, we can embrace the mantra, Loka Samatore Sukhino Bhavantu,
Which means,
may all beings everywhere be happy and free, and may the thoughts, words, and actions of my own life contribute in some way to that happiness and to that freedom for all. It's a beautiful intention to carry. Hashtag outro.
so what does this all mean for you listening right now? Life isn't always going to go your way. Let's be real. The universe isn't suddenly going to give you green lights all the way to work just because you read this book or listened to us. Probably not. But you can choose how you react, how you respond, and how you commit to your path. The goal isn't perfection, it's consistent practice. If you decide you want to be kind and someone is rude to you, well, you know what you want to come back to. You have that anchor.
And what's truly insightful here is that the Sanskrit word for monk, brahmacharya, means student, yes, but also right use of energy.
Right, use of energy. I like that.
It's not about figuring everything out once and for all, getting it perfect. This mindset acknowledges that the right use of energy is to remain a perpetual student, always learning, always adjusting. It requires self-awareness, discipline, diligence, focus, and constant practice. It's hard work, no doubt, but the tools are already in your head, heart, and hands. It's a lifelong journey of right use of energy.
So as you reflect on this exploration, maybe consider this. What do you wish you'd done? What experiences do you wish you'd had? What do you regret not giving more attention to? And use these reflections not as regrets to dwell on, but as powerful motivation. Fuel for the future.
Yeah.
How do you want to be remembered? And what's the gap between that vision and your life today? That gap, that's your call to action. That's where you can begin building your legacy right now with the next choice you make.